So Nintendo released the Creator's Voice episode for Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, which I feel like a lot of people are sleeping on. And we've got a few little tidbits to talk about from this Creator's Voice. If you guys enjoy this kind of content, leave a like, subscribe for more. We do a variety of Nintendo-based content, from gameplays and walkthroughs and guides and news and you name it, we got it. If it's Nintendo, it goes on the channel. So let's go ahead and jump into this. So the Creator's Voice revealed a bunch of tidbits. If you don't know about Age of Imprisonment, by the way, essentially it's going to be looking at the imprisoning war kind of era. We got some flashbacks to that era in Tears of the Kingdom, but it's essentially, you know, where the original Ganondorf kind of came against the you know, the original Hyrule, or one of the early Hyrules, if you will. Again, we got a lot of flashbacks of that kind of era in Tears of the Kingdom, but this is going to be exploring it a little bit more. And of course, if you don't know, a little bit of a spoiler alert, Zelda ends up back in that era in Tears of the Kingdom, and that's how we kind of see some of those kind of flashbacks, because again, she's kind of back in time while Link is still kind of in the present age, right? Now, in that, we see tidbits. We don't see a whole lot. We see some good chunks of stuff that gives us a bunch of story, but what the this game, what the story of Age of Imprisonment is going to be exploring is that era. It's going to be that kind of whole battle with the original Ganondorf and his kind of minions and whatnot, if you will. And so it's going to be exploring a lot of that. And it seems that it's going to be more focused maybe on Zelda as her character. And then, of course, all of the kind of other characters surrounding her, such as, the four masked sages from Tears of the Kingdom, and the two main was the King and the Queen, which I'm drawing a blank on their names at the time of recording this right now. But anyways, so it's going to be exploring a lot of that story. And like they said, it's going to be kind of exploring a little bit more of kind of Zelda's story. So it says, it shows life in the Kingdom of Hyrule after Princess Zelda is sent back in time. So you get to kind of explore a little bit of that and whatnot, which is really exciting. Now, if you never played a Hyrule Warriors game, it's kind of like a hack and slash game. It's not your standard Zelda game, but it's fun. Very, very addicting kind of gameplay, and, really, cool that they're just kind of, adding all of that extra story that is canonical. Age of Calamity was canonical as well. Age of Imprisonment is also going to be. So it's really cool. So if you want some kind of more story and lore from kind of back then, you can kind of experience that through this game. Another thing the developers noted is that with the power of the Switch 2, they're able to add more enemies, which there was already a lot of enemies, but with Age of Calamity, it seemed as though there was a lot of frame rate issues. I believe it was locked at 30 FPS, or at least it was running at 30 or maybe sometimes lower, which obviously was not a great experience. With this game, it seems from the gameplay, and it seems to be at least suggested from what the developers are saying, that the frame rate is going to be probably closer to like a 60 as well. And they're also saying, the whole idea of adding more enemies contributes to the realism and excitement of the battlefield, which helped a ton to be able to have that as well. And again, they're saying, what they said about the higher frame rates is basically it's also important that you could play with higher frame rates than the Nintendo Switch system. So basically, they're indirectly kind of, acknowledging that the Switch 1 frame rates were not great. And so it's going to be smoother frame rates on the Switch 2. So if you did play Age of Calamity and you're like, I don't think I'm going to touch this game because that was not a great experience because of the frame rates, let's say just that alone, sounds like it's going to be a lot better in this game. So, we should be good. So for the most part, I think that covers kind of like the information that we got from this Creator's Voice. Again, some new snippets of some gameplay, which was interesting to see. And these little tidbits are pretty massive. The higher frame rate is going to be huge and whatnot as well. And the developers just seem excited to work with the Nintendo Switch 2, and which seems to be a common theme amongst all these developers that are talking about the Switch 2. They're, even the third-party developers, like with Borderlands 4 and Cyberpunk 2077 and Square Enix with Bravely Default and Final Fantasy VII Remake. So yeah, it's really exciting times for the Switch 2. But let me know what you think in the comments below. You plan to pick up Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment? I can't wait personally. I'm really excited about it. They said it comes out sometime this winter, so it could be 2025 tail end or maybe beginning of 2026. I guess time will tell. I'll let you guys know once we find out. So keep it locked on the channel. Leave a like, subscribe for more if you enjoyed this one, and until the next one, game on. See you guys later.